Reinhard, Heydrich and Linny. Linny, I met Linny in Gettysburg, 2013. I thought, we're very close. Put her through the grant machine. She was a spy lady. She was one of our spies in the Nazi army. She's Estonian this life, but lived in America. She looks like Heydrich, who I work with, is my best friend. And I was a bit confused. I thought, well, is she Reinhard Heydrich, my mate? There's pictures of her there. Interesting, that's by water, because Reinhard, when he was in a physical body after the Nazi experience, drowned when he was 7. And he decided he couldn't go through with this life. It was so too much for him, especially after being branded, how he's been vilified by the press and so much. It impounded him a lot. He drowned, and Linny walked into his body, which is why his body works. Looks like Reinhard. So Linny looks like Reinhard. See, look at the face, Linny. There's Reinhard. So it's no coincidence. And then she meets Alex Schultz. We've all got German names. A lot of them have all got German names. They're all half of Pennsylvania is German, or a third of Pennsylvania. Irish, German, and a bit of British Quakers. So there's Reinhard. Reddy was my best friend. He was incredibly intelligent, naval officer. Had an affair with, he was going to marry the half-Jewish daughter of a German admiral, but wasn't allowed to. So this love affair went on. There's me with Rene. He was always fencing, he was always flying. There's me in Norway with Rene. That's why I like ski caps and skiing. There's Rene. It's all about family. And Lena and Herta. Herta's his secretary there. And Herta decided she would become his secretary because she couldn't marry him, but it broke her heart. Reinhard was always having adventures. He was always off flying with the Luftwaffe because he loved flying. Another one who loved flying. He was he was Pleiadian. He's half Pleiadian, half Syrian, but more Pleiadian than Syrian. He likes fighting the Reptos. So he's off doing dangerous missions, whereas Herta's more maternal and always scared that he would be off doing these adventures and stuff like that, because she's more Syrian, she's more serious than Palladian. There he is, getting strapped in to go on an actual mission. Now, somebody who's very high up in the Third Reich going on actual missions is a bit silly, really, and it caused lots of trouble. Hitler did not like this sort of thing. So he used to risk his life doing this, but it's who he is. He's an adventure guy. He said to me in spirit, he sent me very definite messages in spirit through Alex, which only he could have said. He said there was too much bureaucracy. We used to laugh about bureaucracy and how bad it was in Germany. And he said it gave us lots of opportunities to do things like this, do things like fly, ski, do stuff. He's a bit like Rob Stewart, action man. Max Zimmerman, Rob Stewart, action man. There's Alex, and this bond between soul twins is so strong that even death can't separate it. Reinhard is with her every day for about 3 hours. Some days he's more tired because he's making a lot of energy to make this connection. She's making a lot of energy to make the connection. She goes around with him, he talks to her all the time. It's like there is no death. It destroys her that she's in the physical. She can't work out why she's in the physical. She took over this role that he would have played in this life. The reason was because she's the stronger half. Like Deb is the stronger half of me. I'm the feminine one inside, but Deb's the masculine one inside. She's much stronger than me emotionally. She can deal with the flak, even though she's the one. So he's actually working through his karma, helping the spirits of the Holocaust victims and things and stuff like that, because a lot of them come back. I've worked with a lot of Holocaust victims who've come back in this life, and also a lot of camp guards and things that are extremely traumatised by the experience of running these camps. As you can see, Reinhard had a Pleiadian streak like me. I can be a general and I can kick ass if I want to, but I can also be a genial clown. That's who I am. I'm a nice guy. I've decided now in the future that there'd be no more violence. I should just be doing creative things The Pleiadians will go back to the oceans, and we will reinvigorate the oceans with life and get rid of the plastics and the radiation. Repopulate with fish, and we'll have seaweed to eat, and we will feed humanity, because that's what we're going to do in the future. That's our role. This is, I think this is Alex, which is her when she was engaged to Reinhard, but wasn't allowed to marry because he got thrown out of the Navy for this. You know, he broke the rules. He got thrown out of the Navy. He loved the Navy. He's a Pleiadian. He's a sailor. So there's Reinhard with Alex. So this has been going on. Now, interesting enough, Alex has married her husband, and her husband is Horst Bloom, B-O-E umlaut, H-M-E, and he actually the one who brought the poison porridge to give to him. He's the one that killed. Because Reinhard survived the assassination, despite what you read in the media. He was recovering in hospital, and then was poisoned deliberately on Hitler's orders because he was a rival to Hitler. They were going to get rid of Hitler and put Reinhard in. And Reinhard was sensible. He would have stopped the war in 3 seconds and had a sensible thing. But he wasn't allowed to because of Himmler and the rest of the other nasty reptos. But the thing was, it served as a warning to America now to stop America going the way. America's got death camps, it's got the FEMA camps, it's got all that in place. The exact mechanism, the same Nazi mentality pervades the industrial military complex of America, and it has been spared recreating the Third Reich. But note the word Zion and the word Nazi, not a lot of difference. Same letters apart from one vowel. So, in the end, was the Third Reich, there's a lot of thought now, was the Third Reich set up to deliberately fail with Zionist money so the Zionists would have the carte blanche to take Israel without anybody arguing? There's a lot of very interesting arguments going on. Ken Livingstone is one that shakes the bush. Of course, anybody does that, straight away anti-Semitism, Jeremy Corbyn, anti-Semitism. No, Orthodox Jews, brilliant. They're the same as us, Orthodox Jews. It's the Zionists. The Zionists are not, they're not really Jewish. They're not, they won't like me saying that, so we won't publish that one. So there you are, there's Horst. So he was actually killed by somebody he knew. And Herta was in the room when it happened, and Herta just relives this over and over and over, and she's really making. Reinhard said to me, he said, "Kurt, can you please look after her because she's very, very upset, very angry. But I mean, bitter. I mean, very bitter. I mean, talking about deep shock, and it's probably the toughest assignment really to try and educate her into the bigger picture because she's so focused on the negativity." So we've actually broke through, and she actually forgave Himmler the other day, which is actually a brilliant breakthrough. And Reinhard congratulated her because Himmler was the architect of all this, his occult dealings and the satanic dealings, and he was evil, and that was the problem. So there we are. Now turns out he was Akhenaten. This is the bombshell to end up on. I said, you've got a lot to do with Egypt. It was Akhenaten. Akhenaten turned Egypt on its head with Ra and the one God policy, get rid of all the different priests and goddess. He changed the whole of Egypt, tried to change the whole of the Egyptian mentality overnight. And in the end, once he died, they pulled down all his statues and they destroyed his memory. They went back to having many gods, because many gods means lots of business. One God, you can't see, invisible, not a lot of business. We all directly plug into the one energy, no problem. And the energy was personified as Ra. So that's Akhenaten, if you read about Akhenaten. And Nefertiti was his queen, and Alex was Nefertiti. So there we are. I mean, you don't get a nose like that for no reason. So I'll end on that bombshell because they are very deeply connected with Egypt. And so is Rosie. Rosie Anderson, who's Ava Brown, was actually not a pharaoh. She instructed the Egyptians in building the pyramids. She was actually an ET then, and she actually came down to Egypt and instructed the Egyptians on where to put the pyramids. She was a master navigator and where to put things for energy, and that's why she's working with energy now in this life and why we know each other. So she's, again, a very powerful person. So that's all, folks. Any questions? We're going to knock off now. It's 4:30, which is the time up. So we'll actually finish on time.